There comes a moment in life, a sometimes silent one, sometimes a crashing cacophonous one, when it all seems to be coming apart. Perhaps your career disappeared in a flash. Perhaps someone you cared about left. Perhaps your body collapsed, or the future you had dreamed of receded into the rearview mirror. And in that instant the world seemed cold, cruel. You were at the precipice of what you could bear, heart thick, mind spinning. But then somebody intervened. Perhaps not with some kind of sweeping gesture like in the films. Perhaps it was a friend who answered the phone. Perhaps it was your mother preparing you a meal without saying a word. Perhaps it was a stranger who noticed the fatigue in your eyes and smiled at you as if to say, "I see you." Those are the ones who arrive when it is most difficult, the ones who are woven into the very weave of your becoming. It's easy to forget. We learn. We heal. Life goes on. And among the din of new objectives, new wars, and new faces, sometimes we forget the people who stood with us when the world turned against us. The people who remained when it was easier to go away. We forget because the pain is no longer there. But forgetting is dangerous not only for other people but for ourselves. There is one Stoic philosophy that is talking so beautifully here, the attitude of gratitude, not feeling but practice. Marcus Aurelius instructed, "Don't envy what you don't have. Rather set your minds on the finest and the best that you do have, and think about how much you would miss these if you did not have them. If those individuals hadn't arrived, if you were you today without them." You see, pain wounds you, but support molds you. And the two of them are what create real strength. It's simple to credit our own strength, and yes, we should. But strength doesn't always originate with us. Sometimes it's stolen from us when we have none. And that's a humble fact. It reminds us that we're not as alone as our egos want to keep us. There's a peculiar dignity in remembering. It is humble. It means having acknowledged that we did not reach all the mountains under our power, that we were born perhaps just for a step or two. Perhaps it was a teacher who had faith in you when your own had been extinguished. Perhaps a brother or sister who didn't know what to say but stayed with you in silence. Or someone who broke the truth to you that you didn't want to hear but needed. The world shows us how to be self-sufficient. Hustle, grind, be self-made. And yes, agency is important. Discipline is important. But community, that's where the heart lies. That's where we're reminded we're not machines designed to go it alone. And in those times of vulnerability, a small act of kindness can be the deafening whisper in our narrative. When we recall who showed up and assisted us when we were at our worst, something within us shifts. Our pride mellows. Our thankfulness runs deeper. And from that place we expand, not taller but wider. We become the kind of human being that shows up, that does not wait for the right time to be kind, but acts when someone needs it because we know what it is to be assisted. And this is something lovely. Sometimes the individuals who serve you most frequently don't even realize it. They were simply being themselves, truthful, they're human. But in their presence a new journey was etched within you. They became a sentence in your book that changed the ending. If you are reading this, chances are someone just popped into your head. Perhaps someone you have not heard from in a long time. Perhaps someone you never quite thanked. Perhaps someone you lost somewhere along the way. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Call, write, tell them. Because when you do, you're not only honoring them, you're honoring the part of you that still remembers. We exist within a society of speed. Everything quick, everything now. But memory is not quick. It is to slow down, to stand still with our past, and to think not about what we did but who was with us when we could not stand alone. That is not weakness, it is strength. It reconnects us to something fundamental, something primal, the human connection of being together. Philosophers of the centuries, Epictetus, Confucius, Rumi, spoke of the power of remembering kindness. Not in order to seem noble, but in order to become whole. It was a reminder that we are all connected with threads we cannot see. And if you're in a bad spot today, if the walls are closing, and be warned, help has a way of showing up unawares. You may not even realize it, but initially, it could be a small note from a person you have not been in touch with for years. A greeting from a neighbor who says hello to you every day. A radio show that you find yourself connecting to. Keep your heart open. And when help does arrive, don't just live, remember. The memory of having been helped is a beacon that we carry with us. Not only to look behind, but to illuminate the path for others. Perhaps that's the true lesson, that healing isn't about getting up again, but becoming the type of person who reaches back. I recall one fellow who, after he lost everything, was kept going by one kind act from a barista who learned his name each day. That little act motivated him to have faith again, and he never forgot her. Years down the line, after he had rebuilt his life, he went back to thank her. She had no clue she had been that person to him. Sometimes you don't even realize you're someone's lifeline, and perhaps you've assisted someone and didn't even realize it. That's the magic of it. When we move from a place of genuine kindness, no strings attached, or expectation of reward, our actions bear fruit in ways we might never be aware of. But don't forget to remember, and don't forget to give thanks. Because giving thanks is not necessarily about speaking the words thanks, it's about living in a manner that is faithful to the aid we've received. It's about paying it back forward, not because we have to, but because it shows the world that we were loved when we were least deserving of it. And you know what? Sometimes the person who helped you was you. Maybe you pulled yourself up when no one else did. Maybe you stayed when it would have been easier to flee. Maybe you clung just a little bit even when everything was gone. Don't forget that part of you. Acknowledge them too. They brought you here. Life is a delicate balance between moving forward and recalling, between holding fast and holding ajar, between understanding who we are and recalling those who assisted in creating that. The individuals who assist us navigate the bad days don't merely drag us along. They light the way. They show us what needs to be seen. They remind us what love, friendship, and humanity look like when stretched to its breaking point. And in a world where nothing feels real, where we produce our lives and manage our feelings, the reality of someone being there for you at rock bottom, that's real. That's raw reality. It gets through all the bull. Let time not take away that truth. Let pride not take the place of that memory. Never forget the person who stood with you when you could give nothing in return, because that is an uncommon kind of love. And the more we remember, the more we build a world where that type of love multiplies. So stop, breathe, close your eyes, see the faces, hear the voices, feel the hands that caught you when you were falling. Let that overwhelm you, not with regret, but respect. Let it guide your steps, your decisions, your relationships. And if you can say it, thank them, or be that person for someone else. Be the smile, the text, the call, the warm silence. For the truth that in the end we don't measure our lives by how high we've reached, but by who was standing holding the ladder when we were too frail to lift. Thanks for being here, for listening, for remembering. If this post touched you, if a name came to mind, I'd be honored if you'd share. Comment below your experience, or just leave their name in honor, because some people should be remembered, and some acts of kindness should echo forever. Don't forget the person who helped you in your darkest hour, and never stop becoming the person who assists others to ascend. Until next time, stay kind, stay grounded, and stay human.